All right, Shalawam, Shalawam. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, or Kakwadash. Next, double honors to the head apostles slash elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. All right, and this is going to be a breakdown of Revelation chapter 20. All right, and we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. Okay, and before I get started, all right, I want to give a warning that this chapter does jump time periods a lot, so just take heed of that. All right. So first, here we are at Revelation, the first chapter. So like in Revelation chapter 20 and verse 1, it says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand." All right. Now, who is the angel speaking of? It's speaking of Yahawashi. Okay. He was the one that was given the keys of hell and of death. Okay. I think it tells you that Revelation 1 and 18. So let's go ahead and get that right quick. All right, bear with me. Okay. So let's see. All right. Yep, here it is. So Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1, it says the revelation of Yahawashi Hamashiach, which the Most High gave unto him to show unto his servants which things must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. All right, this is John the Revelator. Okay, so skip down to the 18th verse. All right, it says, "I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And hath the keys of hell and of death." Okay, so going back to Revelation the 20th chapter. All right, it says, "I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand." Okay, now what is the bottomless pit speaking about? Okay, the bottomless pit represents a land. All right, and that land that's spoken of is Europe. Okay, it's known as the bottomless pit because it has no natural resources. All right, which is why everything is imported over there. Okay, and I'm going to prove that lands are known as pits. Okay, we're going to go to Second Ezra, the 5th chapter. All right, Second Ezra chapter 5, and okay, right here, verse 24. It says, it says, "And of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen the one pit, and of all the flowers thereof, one lily." Okay, so a pit is a land. All right, so he had the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And what does that chain represent? The chain represents slavery. Okay, you go to Psalms, the 149th chapter, I believe. All right, Psalms 149 and 5. It says, "Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, praise ye the Lord." Okay, so we go back to Revelation chapter 20, verse 1. All right, that angel speaking of Yahawashi. All right, and he has the key, meaning he has pushed, all right, the dragon, all right, which we're about to read about, into Europe. All right, and that dragon represents Esau. Okay, the Roman Empire, and has a great chain in his hand. All right, so he has the key, meaning he was able to stop them for a period of time, so that they pretty much weren't able to do anything. All right, they didn't have any power in their hand. All right, that's what that chain represents. All right, and them being trapped in Europe at that time. Okay, and this is during the time of the Dark Ages, which we're going to read about. Okay, Revelation 20 and verse 2. It says, "And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years." Okay, so that dragon, once again, the dragon that's spoken of is the Roman Empire, which is ruled over by Esau Edom. Okay, let's go ahead and read about that dragon in Daniel, the 7th chapter. All right, Daniel chapter 7, and Daniel chapter 7 and verse, let's see. Okay. So Daniel chapter 7, and let me see, maybe I'll start at Salakia. Okay. All right, Daniel 7, Salakia, bear with me. Daniel 7 and verse 19, it says, Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Okay, so it's talking about the fourth beast, all right, which, skipping down to verse 23, Daniel 7 and 23, thus he said, The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. All right. Now this fourth beast, all right, is speaking of, once again, the Western power structure. All right. Today, back then it was the Roman Empire, but today it's, America, NATO, the EU. All right. All of the European and Western power structure. All right. This is that fourth beast, the fourth kingdom that's ruling upon the earth right now. Okay. It's Daniel 7 and 24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. All right, this is talking about America, Babylon the Great. Okay. Now, so it's going into, once again, this is that dragon, okay, the fourth beast. Let's go to Revelation chapter 12 and verse 4. All right. Revelation 12 and 4. Okay, actually, I'll read 3. It says, Revelation 12 and 3, And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. Okay, we just read that in Daniel 7. So this is this great red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns is the same one spoken of. All right, and it says, And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. All right. So what is this going into? What is this referencing? All right. This is referencing in Matthew the 2nd chapter, when King Herod was trying to kill Yahawashi. Okay. So this is Matthew chapter 2. And let's see. I'm going to start Matthew chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, Now when Yahawashi was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where the anointed should be born. Okay, so Herod is trying to figure out where, all right, Yahawashi was born at. Okay, now continuing on, Matthew 2 and 7. Okay, it says, actually I'll read 6. It says, and 5, Salakia, Matthew 2 and 5. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. Okay. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child, and when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. All right. Now Herod was an Edomite. So he says, when you hear exactly where and when he was born, bring him, come give me the word so I can come worship him. All right. Now, let's continue down. Okay. Matthew 2, and I'm gonna skip down to verse 11. And when they were coming to the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And being warned of the Most High in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. And when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. Okay, so that's exactly what this is. This right here, that Matthew 2 and 13, is exactly what's being referenced here. Also, like exactly what's being referenced in Revelation, all right, chapter 12 and verse 4. Okay, it said that when the dragon, all right, the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Okay, all right, verse 5, Revelation 12 and 5, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and the child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. All right, so going back to Revelation chapter 20, all right, Revelation chapter 20, that old serpent, all right, the devil, the dragon, all right, that's talking about Esau and his empire. So let's start from the top again. Revelation 20 and 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, Yahawashi, having the key of the bottomless pit, all right, which is Europe, and a great chain in his hand. So he was trapped in Europe, all right, trodden down, and his power was taken. And he laid hold on the dragon, all right, Esau and his beast system, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. All right, now what is this? When did this happen in history? All right, this was known of as the Dark Ages. All right, let me see. As a matter of fact, let me type in timeline. Okay, so right there you go. It says here, study.com, the Dark Ages is a term for the period between the fall of the Roman Empire and the beginning of the Italian Renaissance and the Age of Discovery. Many textbooks list the Dark Ages as extending from 500 to 1500 AD, although it should be noted these are approximations. All right, so approximately, all right, but that's that 1,000 years that's being spoken of here, okay? Verse 3, it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, okay? Because, and I go into the history all the time, all right, how did he deceive the nations? All right, he had the Israelites, he was under Alexander the Great, the Greeks and the Romans, because they're the same people, all right? What did they do? They had the Israelites worshiping the planets, all right, speaking Greek, okay, or worshiping idols, Serapis Christus, all right? So he was bound, for a period of time during the Dark Ages, and he was ruled over by Jake, okay? Jake was ruling during that time period, all right? And they like to make fun of the so-called Negroes for saying, that we were once kings, but that's actually true, all right? The so-called Negroes ruled over various parts of Europe during this time period, okay? So let's read that again, Revelation 20 and 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season, okay? And when was that? When was he loosed? All right after that time period, that was what was known as the Renaissance, which means rebirth, okay? And what did he do? All right, he that's when he invaded what's known of as America today. All right, the Israelites went into captivity under him, okay? And then he put up his images. He painted over the images of the true saints, all right, of the Heavenly Father, his only begotten Son, the Israelites, the angels. He painted them all in his image and his likeness, all right, and he went out and deceived the nations, and he gave them plantation Christianity, okay, Catholicism, all right, which is the false prophet of the beast system, okay, which has the whole world deceived, okay. So we're in that short season now, which it is short because if according to the scriptures, all right, let's go to 2 Peter chapter 3. If 1,000 years is only as one day to the Lord, all right. So he's been in power now it's only been about a half a day in the eyes of Yahawashi. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8. Okay, it says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Okay, so don't be ignorant of that. So he's been loosed for a little season, all right, and now his rulership's already getting ready to come to an end. All right, this is Revelation 20 and 4. Next verse it says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls that were beheaded for the witness of the Most High Yahawah. It's like beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi and for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, all right, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with the Hamashiach 1,000 years. Okay, so it tells you in the scriptures that they that are beheaded for the gospel shall rise with him first. All right, now this is a different 1,000-year period than the one we just read about. Okay, so this is two separate 1,000-year periods. All right, and you have to be aware of that when you're reading over this. Okay, but it says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them. All right, and judgment was given unto them. Let's read about that. Okay, Yahawashi promised this to his disciples in Luke, the 22nd chapter. All right, this is Luke chapter 22 and verse 28. It says, ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so this is speaking of the elect, and specifically the 144,000, all right, which are going to be the governors and the rulers of the new world. All right, and they're going to judge the wicked. They're going to judge Esau. This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 22. It says, I'll do 21. Okay, it talks about, further up, it talks about that fourth beast. But starting at 21, it says, and I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. All right, that horn, which is the king that came out of the beast, is talking about America, Babylon the Great. All right, the great horde that sits on top of the beast. And it made war with the saints of the Israelites, and prevailed against them. When did that happen? That's when we were taken over here in captivity. All right, they had us enslaved, both southern and northern kingdom. All right, right here in Babylon the Great, and all over the Western Hemisphere. All right, we lost our heritage. Okay, and now we're walking around calling ourselves proverbs and bywords. All right, we're walking around. The vast majority of our people are idol worshippers. Okay, that's because the horn prevailed against us. All right, it says, verse 22, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Okay, so until the judgment was given, so the judgment is going to be given to Jacob, all right, to the elect of the Lord, so that they may judge Esau in his beast system. This is Obadiah all the way down to the last verse. And when this happens, this is Obadiah 1 and 21, and saviors shall come up on the Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So the Lord, that's what the Lord is doing right now. He's raising up saviors. All right, you have the Savior, all right, which is Yahawashi, but he's gonna be right there, and the elect is gonna be aiding him. All right, Revelation 2 and 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. All right, so there you go. So these are the judges. All right, these are the great judges that sat upon the thrones. Okay, it says, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of the Most High. I keep saying that, for the witness of Yahawashi, for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image. All right, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Hamashiach 1,000 years. It says, but the rest of the dead lived not, Revelation 25, but the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection, okay? And there's actually two first resurrections. Are you going to have one where all of those, we'll read about that right quick. Let me go there. All right, St. John chapter 5. Okay. This is the first resurrection right here. All right, there's really two. Just like there's two 1,000-year periods, there's two quote unquote first resurrections. This is John chapter 5, and let's see. Okay, John chapter 5 and verse 25. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of the Most High, and they that hear shall live. It says, for as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in the which all that are in the graves shall hear his voice, and they shall come forth. they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. Okay, now, the Israelites woke up came up out of their graves. It tells you that in Ezekiel 37, Revelation 11, but also, you can apply this to that end time. Okay, when all the dead are gonna rise. Okay, and they're gonna be judged according to their works. All right, and that's that first resurrection. But also, all right, going back, Revelation 20 and 5. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Now, this is actually talking about the heathen nations being restored after that 1,000-year reign, that 1,000-year millennial reign. Okay, because for that 1,000 years they have to be punished. So they're going to be servants and handmaids of the Israelites for 1,000 years. And then after that time is over, Esau is going to be completely eradicated, and the other heathen nations, they're going to be able to get their inheritance and go back to their lands and pretty much continue on with regular life. But they're going to be tributaries unto the children of Israel. All right. Now, verse 6, it says, "Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such that second death hath no power." All right. Now, this is talking about who the Israelites are going to rise up to eternal life. All right. "But they shall be priests of the Most High and of the Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years." Okay. So you see, this is two different 1,000-year periods. Okay. Because right here in verse 5, it tells you, "But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished." Okay. So until after that 1,000-year reign, that's talking about the heathen nations. After that 1,000-year reign, then they're going to get their inheritance. They'll be able to go back to their normal lives, but they're going to be tributaries unto the tabernacle of David, all right, which is the Israelites, okay, the government of the Israelites. Now, but going back to 6, okay, talking about the elect, "But they shall be priests of the Most High and of his anointed, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. All right. And that talks about, Salaki, I meant to read from the top. Let me get that again. Revelation 20 and 6. "And blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power." Okay, and the second death is going to come when Yahawashi arrives. All right, and what is that second death? It's the lake of fire. Okay, and it's going to tell you that down at the bottom of this chapter. All right, but we're going to continue moving on. Okay, so this is two separate first resurrections and two separate 1,000-year periods. All right, so Revelation 20 and 7. "And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison." All right, now this is, once again, this is not talking about the 1,000-year millennial reign, because once Yahawashi comes, the heathen, their rulership is going to be completely destroyed, and it's not going to rise back up another time. Okay, it's not. I said it tells you affliction shall not rise a second time. Once Esau's taken out of power, he's not. There's a doctrine saying that he's going to come back and fight the Israelites after 1,000 years. That's not going to happen. All right. So this is talking about, this is going back, all right, to him being him when he was bound after the Dark Ages, and just to prove that, all right, if we actually go into the blue letter, the way that it's titled proves that. Okay. So Revelation 20 and 2, "And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years." Okay, now if we go down here, it tells you, okay, Satan freed. All right, and then it resumes with Revelation 20 and 7. So you see, this is the reason why I say it skips. Okay, it skips around a lot. So now going back, it's talking about that 1,000-year period that was during the Dark Ages. Okay, so Revelation 20 and 7. "And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea." Okay, so when Satan, all right, which is Esau, and the Western Roman Empire, which is now today America, NATO, the EU, their whole power structure. All right, what are they going to do? They're going to go out to deceive the nations. That's exactly what they did. All right, with that Renaissance period. All right, and the iconoclasm. Okay, they changed all the images. All right, they told you the law, statutes, commandments are done away with. They set up the Catholic and Christian Church, which worships Serapis Christus. All right, so they went out to deceive the whole world. They pushed their poison all throughout the whole earth. All right, and it tells you in the scriptures that the gospel must be preached to all nations, and then shall the end come. Well, that should tell you that something ain't right, because the false gospel of Christianity has been preached for thousands of years at this point. All right, all over the world. I shouldn't say thousands, but hundreds of years all over the world, 2 or 3 times over, and the end still ain't come. All right, things really starting to shake once the Israelites started to rise up. Now we're coming to the time of the end. So I should tell you something, but it says that they shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. Gog and Magog, who is that? Let's talk about Russia. All right, Gog being the people and Magog being the land, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is the sand of the sea. So they're gonna gather Russia, all right, and the eastern nations into World War III. All right, and we see that happening. Okay, we see that, is in the works. Okay, just this week, the Russian ships are on the coast of Florida. All right, what's it called? America has been having naval battles with the Houthi rebels, all right, which are backed by Iran, which is an ally of Russia. All right, you got the BRICS nations. Okay, so a lot of different things where you see America's being attacked at all sides. Okay, so we're coming close to this right here. All right, them being gathered to battle. Revelation 20:9, and they went up onto the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about. Okay, they compassed the camp of the saints. All right, and what is the camp of the saints? That's the actual land. That's not talking about the actual saints, but see, it tells you in Jeremiah 49th chapter, all right, that the least of the flock shall draw them out. And that least of the flock is talking about the creation state of Israel. All right, they're causing a lot of problems. They, what they're doing over there with the Palestinians, and the nations are getting pissed off about it. All right, and of course, because the small hatters, they're behind the scenes running Babylon the Great. All right, because of that, what's going to happen when Russia or any nation that's an ally of Russia attacks the creation state of Israel, then America's going to get pulled into that. Okay, and there you go. That's going to spark. That's going to be one of the main. That's going to be one of the main matches that lights the fire to World War III. Okay, so they're gonna compass the camp of the saints about, which is the actual land of Israel, and the beloved city. And fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. Okay, so that whole land is going to be completely wiped out. All right. Verse 10, it says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Okay, so Esau, his whole system, Babylon the Great, all right, the creation, the 1948ers, the fake, the JOOs, all right, what's going to happen? They're going to be completely wiped off the map. Babylon the Great is going to be completely wiped off the map. Okay, all right, and all of the false idols are going to be destroyed as well. That false prophet, Christianity, Catholicism, all that's going to go out the window. All right. And it says, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever, which just means for a very, very long time. All right. Now, verse 11, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. Okay. And that's the one that sits on that great white throne, is the Heavenly Father, Yahawah, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. All right, and the earth and the heaven represents this world, this society, because what does it tell you in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter? All right, it tells you that there should be a new heaven and a new earth. All right, and you go to that word new in the blue letter, that word is kainos, which means refreshed. Okay, 2 Peter chapter 3, and so I keep bear with me. I'm at 2, that's why. All right, 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse, let's see. All right, verse 13. I started 12. It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right, so the old heaven and the old earth, all right, which is society and the rulership that we're living in now, okay, because the new one is going to be, it's still going to be the same heavens and the same earth in the physical sense, but it's going to be renewed. Okay, so the old heaven and the new earth, let's see, it says, from whose face the earth, it's like I read the whole thing, Revelation 20 and 11, and I saw a great white throne and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. All right, and there was found no place for them. Okay, And what is that? Once again, what is that going into? This rulership. All right, there's not going to be any place for the rulership of the heathen any longer. All right, verse 12, it says, "And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High Yahawah, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works." All right. Now, the book of life, all right, represents those who are going to be delivered. Okay. And if you're not written in the book of life, then what's going to happen to you? All right, you're going to be destroyed. All right, but this represents that judgment. Okay, the books represent the judgment being brought forth. All right, let's get Daniel 12:1. Okay, if you're written in the book of life, the Lord is going to send down the angels to protect you. Daniel 12:1, it says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book of life." All right. So those that are written in the book of life are going to be delivered, and those that are not, they're going to be judged and cast out. Okay. Let's get this. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. All right. And verse 10. It says, For we must all appear before the judgment seat of the Hamashiach, the anointed, that everyone may receive the things done in this body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad. All right. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto the Most High, and I trust also are made manifest in your conscience. All right. So knowing the terror of the Lord and what's getting ready to befall those who are not written in the book of life, we persuade men. All right. I mean, we threaten you with the words of the Bible. All right. Now continuing on, Revelation 20 and verse 13, it says, "And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works." Okay, so if you're not written in the book of life, what's going to happen to you? You're going to be thrown into the lake of fire. And the sea, which is the sea, represents the sea of people. All right, let me think about where that's at. Let me see. I think it's Revelation. Let me see. Hang on. Bear with me. I think it's Revelation 16, maybe. Oh, crap. Okay. Modify search, New Testament. Let's see. Boom. Revelation 17. Revelation 17 and 15. "And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." So the sea is talking about the sea of people. "The sea gave up the dead which were in it." All right. So all the people on the earth, all right, are going to be raised up. All the ones that are dead are going to be raised up for judgment. All right. And if you're alive, you're just going to be judged. If you're of the elect, though, and you're raised up, you're going to be raised up into eternal life. Okay. And it says, "And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them." All right. And Esau is known as hell, as death and hell, because Esau brings death, and he brings the conditions of hell. All right. Because hell is a condition played on earth. Let's prove that right quick. Isaiah chapter 28. "And a lot of our people have made a covenant with hell and with death. So when that time comes, what's going to happen? They're going to be destroyed by the overflowing scourge, the lake of fire." All right. This is Isaiah 28 and 14. "Wherefore hear the word of the Lord, ye scornful men, that rule his people, which is in Jerusalem. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement." All right, and once again, this is talking about Esau. Why? Because Esau is as the harbinger of death. All right, going back to Genesis, his blessing was the sword. Okay, he's excellent at killing. So we have made a covenant with death. Our people have made a covenant with Esau, and with hell are we at agreement. They've made once again. He brings the conditions of hell. It says, "When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves." All right, and who is that? That's the people that are fighting tooth and nail to save these heathens. All right, so Esau is not the so-called white man. Yada yada, all this crap, man. All right, no matter what, even though the true names of the Lord are out there, they refuse to call on the true names of the Lord, and they want to call on JC. All right, or maybe they got a 501c3 charter. They getting, they took a bribe. Okay, they've made a covenant with hell and with death. It says, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made refuge, lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. They think that, they're going to be protected by this devil because they try to appease his wrath. All right, because he's going to come down having great wrath. All right, it says, verse 15, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. Also, like I just read that. Verse 16, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. Okay, and this is speaking of Yahawashi. Okay, he brought out the parable of he who built his house on the rock and he who built his house on the sand. Okay, if you put your trust in Yahawashi, that cornerstone, then you're not going to make haste, and you're going to be, when a storm comes, you're going to be grounded. All right, verse 17, it says, and judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail, which is talking about those hailstones, all right, a fire and brimstone shall sweep away the refuge of lies, all right, which is Esau and his system, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. Okay, so those who made a covenant with hell and with death are going to be destroyed by the overflowing scourge, which is the lake of fire. All right, now going back. Okay, going back. Let's get another scripture just to prove that as well. Esau, once again, he's known as hell and as death. All right, let's get Habakkuk chapter 2. It says the same thing in that chapter. All right, Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And every European country that you go to, all right, what do you see? All the nations in there together, all right, serving this devil, all right, paying into his tax system. They're tributaries unto him. And if you don't live in America, then he just goes to your country and takes the resources directly. All right, so he brings the conditions of hell, all right, and he brings death. So continuing on, Revelation 20 and 14, all right, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. Okay, this is the second death. So remember, those that were part of that first resurrection, all right, that were raised up unto glory, all right, with Yahawashi, those that were dead with Yahawashi, okay, they were of the elect and they were dead, and then also those who are, that are going to be alive, all right, that are of the elect as well. Okay, they're going to be raised up, and they're going to be, they're going to escape the lake of fire, all right. But those that have made a covenant with hell and with death, all right, are going to be thrown into the lake of fire. Revelation 20 and 14, and death and hell, talking about Esau and his beast system, were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. All right, and that's anybody that's not of the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to close out. All right, that is the breakdown of Revelation chapter 20. Maybe I could have went a little bit deeper into it, but just wanted to bring it out. And Lord's will, it was edifying to you brothers and sisters out there. So with that being said, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rakakwadash. All right, Shalawam, and on to the next one.